Hey, what's up, guys? We've got something new in the world of WTF are you thinking lawsuits, and that is with this new lawsuit against Nirvana. That's right, Nirvana, the band, the dead Kurt Cobain, his estate is included, the other members of the band, and a photographer who was involved in a very, very interesting photo shoot, 30 years ago. This album was released in 1991, and now Nirvana is being sued over the cover art for that album. You probably remember it. It's a naked baby. And we're talking fully nude, parts visible and everything. The baby is underwater. There's a dollar bill on it. All of that stuff. You've probably seen it if you ever went to a music store in the 90s. Again, this is one of their biggest albums that they had. It has Smells Like Teen Spirit on it. It has Come As You Are. This is an iconic album with an iconic cover. Well, the baby is now 30 years old, and has decided that he is no longer okay with having images of him and his little self distributed around the internet, I guess. So he is suing. He is suing the band for quite a bit of money. There are 15 named defendants, and he has sued each of them for $150,000 on charges of cheese pizza. I don't know if we're allowed to say. We'll say exploitation, exploitative pictures. This is not focused on that. That is just the subject of the lawsuit itself. That is the claim that he has made. But there are some real problems with these claims. Let's get into those real quick. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer. I'm also a legal and political commentator on YouTube and on Odyssey. Wherever you're watching, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, all that good stuff so you don't miss any videos, okay? All right, let's break down the problems with this lawsuit. Number one, this is 30 years ago. Now, I'm not sure what the federal statute of limitation is on child exploitative pictures, but here's the real issue. This guy's known about this picture his whole life. It's not like this is a surprise. This picture has been circulated or anything like that. This was circulated with the consent of his parents, presumably, approximately 30 years ago. Again, the album came out in 1991. It's now 2001. That's a safe estimate, right? So this has been around forever. It has not been a secret to this guy. In fact, when he was younger, he mentioned that he liked the notoriety, that he was okay with the picture. It's only recently that he has changed his tune. Recently being, I believe as early as 2016, he started saying he was uncomfortable with that picture of him being out there. So, what are the details of this? How did they get the picture of this guy? Well, it was a photo shoot. They had an actual photo shoot where the guy's dad actually took him, little baby, and throws him into the pool, and the photographer is underwater, snaps the picture, or probably several pictures of the baby for the photo shoot. The dad was actually compensated $200 for the participation in the suit, or in the photo shoot. Is that a lot of money? No, it's not. Does that matter? Not really. Not legally, right? Like if you got $200 and that was the agreement. And like, yeah, we're going to give you $200. We're going to shoot a picture of your kid. We're going to put the pictures up on the photo or on the album cover, and then that's going to be that. If that was the terms of the agreement, then you don't really have any legs to stand on because you were fairly compensated, or more appropriately, your guardian at the time was fairly compensated for what happened. So this is one of the big problems that they got, is the length of time on this and the fact that we know that this was some level of agreement. What we don't know, however, and this is kind of in the favor of the plaintiff here, is what agreement there actually was, because this was not memorialized on a paper contract with a specific license and a release agreement and all of that stuff. So we don't have the full details of what the deals were, but the people who would be the guy's dad who made the deal, I don't know if he's still alive. And of course, the members of the band plus the photographer, who are named defendants, so they could probably testify to what the deal was or their understanding of the deal. And maybe there's some little communications out there. But typically an oral contract or a handshake contract is going to be enforceable and honorable. And if they had an agreement to do this photo shoot and to use these photos for an album, this guy's got big problems on that front. His other claim is that this amounts to child pornography and the exploitation of his image. That's the source of the majority of the damages, right? There's a statutory $150,000 damage award that he's asking for from each of the defendants. The problem with this is if this is a commercial child pornography distribution ring, which is what he's claiming, then everybody's complicit in it, right? Like every music distributor, every music retail store, everybody who purchased it is somehow engaged in this. But does this picture actually meet the definition of child pornography? Probably not. Probably not, we have to say, because there isn't a clear federal definition. But let me give you a rundown on what the basic federal definition says. It says a picture or image or video or whatever, or a reproduction of said picture or image or video that is sexually explicit, which does not require a child to be engaged in a sexual act, but it does requires some level of intent for the image to be sexualized. Not just that some person comes along and is aroused by the image because they have some sort of issue, but rather that the intent behind the image is to derive sexual stimulation. And I think it'd be really hard to argue that the album cover for Nevermind fits this definition. It's not done in a sexually suggestive way, and people who are sexually attracted to babies might belong on some sort of wall with some sort of bullet coming their way. I don't know, but this is not that. This image is not derived to elicit a prurient interest, right, from the person. It's not meant to gain a sexualized response, and that is going to be one of the critical details. So what's going on at the end of the day is a pretty simple money grab. This guy goes, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. I'm 30. My image has been out there forever. People get to see my little winky hanging down underwater, and I don't have anything to show for that. I have nothing to show for that. So he's got two options. He's going to put out these charges. He's going to try and get Nirvana wrapped up in a very public lawsuit that involves some very headline-grabbing sort of language, right? Child exploitation and all that stuff. And then he's going to try and use that as pressure to gain leverage over them to work out a large money settlement. And frankly, from Nirvana's perspective, maybe they want to pay out, or from the record label or whoever owns the rights to Nirvana, maybe they want to go ahead and pay out that money settlement, or come up with something. Say, look, you know, we didn't know at the time that this thing was going to be as big as it was. We didn't know Nirvana was going to be what it was. We didn't know Kurt Cobain was going to kill himself and make Nirvana into an even bigger sort of lasting cultural phenomenon than it might have otherwise been. We were just recording music at the time. And so, you know, we can go ahead and compensate you. Let's make this thing go away. Let's part as friends. And that can be the end of the story. Or you can try and win money damages in court. And I really don't think he's got a good case on that at this point. I think this is a stinker of a lawsuit, and that if he were to actually try and take this in, he's going to run into some serious troubles, and maybe a court would even find this lawsuit to be frivolous to the point where he's going to end up paying other people's attorney's fees. And that's probably an extreme possibility, a lower end of the risk totem pole for him, but it's still there as a possibility. I think the reasonable thing, the band's probably going to work this thing out with him and pay him some sort of payout. But it all depends on whether these parties are willing to come together and make that happen. Are they? I don't know. We'll have to catch and watch. I hope you found this video educational and informative. If you did, go ahead and hit like again and share it, and drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Peace. Peace.